All right, everyone, it's Dawn Duval with Shall We Stamp. I'm coming to you recorded from the Fort Myers area of Florida. We are in or on our way to Ireland, so I will not be with you tonight or the following Tuesday. But thank you for coming and watching. I greatly appreciate it. Make sure that if you like the video to like it and share with me. That would be great. That helps me reach out to other crafting folks, and hopefully they'll enjoy my videos. And before we get started, I just wanted to go over, this is my monthly host code. If you spend $50 through my online store, then I'm going to send you a bundle of tutorials. There's 36 projects in this bundle, and they're all yours when you spend $50 using this monthly host code through my online store. So keep that in mind. If you have something that you would like to order, I would love to have you order through myself. I really would appreciate that. And then the second thing, as I mentioned last week, is we have this great in color starter kit option. And I will say that the reason I'm sharing this with you is I would not be doing my job if I didn't make sure that you were aware of this opportunity. And I'm sure you've heard this from others as well, but for Stampin' Up! Through the month of May, you can join to become a demonstrator for $99, and you get to choose $125 in product. In addition to that, you normally will get a paper pumpkin kit. You will get some catalogs and business supplies, and then this month they are adding in color, 4 in color papers, cardstock, ink, and grid paper. So you're going to receive all 5 of the new in color ink colors. You're going to receive an assortment of cardstock, and you're also going to receive a package of the designer series paper, which is 6x6. It's all the in colors. And then you'll also receive some grid paper that you can use, like I have here on my paper on my desk, to keep your ink from getting all over everywhere. So it kind of helps keep everything clean. So this is a great opportunity. Now, the one thing nice about this, you don't have to do lives. You don't have to do videos. If you don't want to do this as a business, you don't need to do that. But what you get in return is, after you place your starter kit order, for each order over that, then you will start to receive a 20% discount. And by signing up in May, you will receive that through the end of September. Now, if you want to continue with that discount, there are minimums that are required. Just reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to go over that with you. Otherwise, you can just make your purchases, get a 20% discount. The end of September, if you haven't met those minimums, then you just go back to being a customer and paying full price. And that's your choice. But I want to make sure that you're aware of this opportunity. I would love to have you join my team of crafty girls. As I've mentioned before, I've got people from here through Maryland, Michigan, Virginia, of course in Florida, and I think that's it for now. But anyway, so please, if you have any questions, reach out to me and let me know. You can message me, email me, text me, call me by phone, or whatever. All right, so just keep that in mind. I want to make sure you're aware of this, and I will keep reminding you until the end of the month. You're getting $66.50 in additional products for free. So it's a total of $191 when you look at the 125 plus the 61, and you're paying 99. All right, so with that being said, let's go ahead and move on. Now, we are going to work with some of our in colors, and this evening I'm going to work with one of our new stamp sets, and then one that has carried over. We're going to work with the uniquely artistic. I really like this stamp set. It's a 2-step stamp set, but we're not going to do the 2-step part. We're going to just use the ones with the lines, so we're going to use those. And then in addition to that, we're also going to use Peaceful Moments for our sentiments, and this is carried over from last year as well. And these you can find in the annual catalog that's just been released. And if you don't have one, if you're not working with the demonstrator, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to put one in the mail. Now, you may have to wait a little bit till I get back from Ireland, which will be around the 5th of June. All right, so this is going to be the first card that we're going to make. And this is using our new Orchid Oasis, and it's cut at 4 1/4 by 11, and we scored it at 5 1/2. And then we're going to add a second layer, and let me bring that in. We're going to add a second layer of Starry Sky, I'm sorry. And this is going to be at 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm going to go ahead and fold this. I haven't scored it, so I'm just going to go ahead and fold it like I normally do. And let me get my bone folder. Let me reach over here, and I have to get some ink because I'm not ink, adhesive. That would probably be helpful, wouldn't it? Okay, as you can tell, I'm not quite organized. All right, I have it right here. Okay, so this is going to be added to our piece here, which obviously I didn't cut it right. So let me do that real quick. Thank goodness my paper trimmer is right next to me. This is going to be cut at 5 1/4 by 4 inches. And I'm going to make sure, yeah, I just forgot to cut the other side down. All right, so that's going to go like that. And then I'm going to layer, hang on a second, let me just make sure that this is, oh, that's a little off. That's a little bit more than 5. So let's bring it, yeah, 5 1/4. That should be right. There we go. Okay, so 5 1/4 by 4 inches. All right, so that's going to go, we're going to leave that set aside for just a minute. Now what I'm doing is I'm using our watercolor paper, and what I've done is I went ahead and stamped 3 in the Starry Sky, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp one more, and you have to fussy cut these, so I didn't want you sitting here watching me cut out 4 of these flowers. And I have to find my stamp. So let's go ahead and ink, and what I've done, I'm doing something a little bit different. So we're going to ink this up. We want to get a lot of ink on it because we're going to take our water color pen. What are they called? Painter? I'm not sure what the new name is. They changed the name of it. But we're going to take this little guy, and it's got some water in it, and I'm going to open the lid of my ink pad because I might use that to add some additional ink. And I'm going to just pick up some color with my pen, and I'm just going to drop it in here and add some water, and we're going to swirl that around. But what I want to do is I'm going to take and just kind of pull from the from this dark side, from the center, and just pull out some of the color so we can kind of dull, if you will, the watercolor paper. And I'm not going to bring it all the way out. I'm going to let it some of this show through. So I'm just taking my I'm not sure, painter pen, I think is what it's called. Isn't that terrible? You'd think I'd know that, right? And I'm just going to bring in some color from the inside out and just kind of give it more of a watercolor look. And you can add as much as you want. That's up to you. Well, I think they're water painters is what they're called. All right, so let's go ahead and shut this. Now, I'm going to wash this off later off camera. I'll wipe it on a paper towel to get that cleaned off. And then what we're going to do is come in with our paper snips, and we're going to just fussy cut this out. And the one thing about fussy cutting, some people like it, some people don't. And the whole idea really is you make the paper do the work. So you really, for the most part, want to hold your scissors and then just work the paper around and just leave a little bit of a border. It depends on what you want to show, and just leave a little bit of the border as you're going around. Now I find that I get a better cut when I keep the paper towards the back of my scissors where it's a lot sharper. And so I'm just coming around, you know, flipping the paper and moving it, trying to get in the little crevices if you want, and just to kind of give it the same shape as the flower. And then you see how I'm just moving the paper around, and it's pretty easy when you do it like this. Some people love to fussy cut, others don't. I'm okay with it. I'm not the greatest. I've seen people do a lot better than me. So let me grab my scrub pad because I forgot to bring that over next to me. My cleaning pad, because I've got so much stuff in here. It's just crazy. I've got to get organized. I've got cards that I need to send to cards for soldiers, and I just have not had time, and trying to get ready. Well, I'm now, you all are watching this while we're gone, but trying to get ready to go out of the country is just crazy when you're living in a motorhome and everything else. So, all right, this piece is cut at 3 3/4 by 5. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to layer these flowers, but the first thing I want to do is I'm going to bring in my soft succulent ink, and we're going to stamp the leaves from the stamp set. So we're going to use this here, and then I'm going to stamp this flower You know, I didn't find that one. I did find that one, but that one's awful little. Let me see if there's a bigger one. There it is. There's the big one. I was using the little one. We're going to take the big one and we're going to use Evening Evergreen. So we're going to use this one in Evening Evergreen, and this is going to be in Soft Succulent. So, and that means that I should be able to get by. Yep, we can do that. Okay, so that's what we'll do there. So I'm going to go ahead, and since our flowers are going to be overlapping, then some of this you're not going to see. So I'm going to ink this up in our Soft Succulent, and I'm going to stamp, and I'm going to come over just a little bit because I want to have it angled up. And then I'm going to do another one, and it's going to overlap some, but that's okay because we're not going to see that part because I'm going to put one of the flowers there to hide that, okay? All right, so that's what I've got with my Soft Succulent. All right, so now let's bring in our Evening Evergreen. Get that opened up. Let me clean this off. Give me just a moment. All right, and now we're going to come in with the small flower, which I'm using this one here that's got a little bit more flowers, I think. Nope, I'm sorry, I'm using that one. All right, so we're going to, whoops, let me go back. I'm still not done with my evening, sorry. We don't want the Evening Evergreen yet. We want our Soft Succulent. We're going to come in and put some of these guys. We're just going to kind of place them out where they might stand out a little bit from the flowers. So I'm just going to put a couple on the outsides, some, and once we get the flowers placed on here, it should look fine. If it doesn't, oh well. So let's see. Let's place one. Let's put one right about here. And it really just depends on what you want to do. All right, I'm going to leave that like that for now. We may come back and add some more if we think we need to. All right, so in the meantime, we're now going to use our Evening Evergreen. And again, we're going to use the small stamp. Whoopsie, let me grab my block. Take that one off. I've got ink all over me. Now this is going to make it look so much better because the other one I was using just wasn't cutting it with the size of that flower. This one's really going to make it look nice. I'm just going to start tucking him in between the leaves and see how it's giving it that little bit of darker effect. And I think I want to put one up here because see, now that's going to be big enough, so that's going to stand out and that's going to look really nice. And I'm going to pop one in right here. I don't want to do too many, but I do want to get enough that, let's put one right here. And I think that's good. I'm not getting the side. I'm not pushing down hard enough on that, am I? We'll put one right here. Okay, if we need more, we're going to add some more. All right, let's cover this up. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add our flowers. Now, I'm going to pop two of them up, and then two will be laid flat. So let's see. Let me see which ones I want on the top. All right, so we're going to do this one on the bottom. And we'll use our, I was trying to find my, here we go. I'm going to use my seal. Since it's watercolor paper, I'm going to go ahead and use my seal. I'm going to attach this one flat. All right, so I'm just going to place it right about here. I don't want to cover up all my little flowers. All right, we'll place that one there. And then we're going to pop, let's pop one up on dimensionals. Let's see. Let me see which one I want to place flat. I think I'll place this one down flat. We're just going to make a little cross there. And I'm going to put him probably like that. All right, so those two are flat. Now these two we're going to put on dimensionals. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm just going to put two side by side on each of the back of these flowers. And this is a really easy card. You know, you can do this with any types of flowers that you have. Now you don't have to do this on watercolor paper. You can stamp these on basic white or thick white. I just wanted to do, since I was going to use some water, I just wanted to go ahead and add that. So I'm going to put this flower, I'm just going to lay it on top with my dimensionals, but I don't really want them lined up, so I want to try to make it, let's see what it will look like. Let's place that like that. And then this one, I don't know, hang on a minute. Let me pull that back up. I don't think I like that. Hold on. Hang on. I don't think I like that one. Let's offset. Let's do it like this. Let's offset that one. And then we'll come back with this one. Now this one I do want to put, I think I'm going to do it like this. We'll set that one right there. Now our green is showing, so I think that's good. All right, now the next thing we're going to do is let's go ahead and add this to our card base. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to use my multi-purpose glue. Whoops, I almost went off the edge there. All right, so we're going to put that on our, what is it called? Starry Sky. So we're going to add that right there. And I got a little smudge of ink on it because I've got ink all over my fingers, but hopefully we can hide that. Probably not, but we'll see what we can do. All right, so we're going to trying to get that straight. All right, and then we're going to add this to the front of the card, and we'll go ahead and put our multi-purpose liquid glue along the edges there. You want to be careful that you don't put it too thick because it will spread. It will ooze out, and you don't want that to happen. All right, now we've got a lot of white space over here. So I think what I'm going to do, on the other card I had my sentiment going this way, I think I'm going to put it over here because we've got way too much white here. I should have added some more leaves. So the next time I'll know to do that. All right, so we have this is 3/4 of an inch, 3/4 of an inch by 2, and we are going to stamp this in our Starry Sky, and it's the thank you from the Peaceful Moments stamp set. So we're just going to make this a thank you, and we'll stamp it right there. And then we're going to put that on a 1 inch by 2 1/4 piece of Starry Sky cardstock. So we'll go ahead and just put it's easier with the seal. We'll just put a strip of that on there. Now this we're going to pop up, but what we're going to do is we're going to add a dimensional, and we're going to add it on the left side since we're going to pop it over here, right? Because I want to take up that space. That definitely will help. So I'm going to put a dimensional here, but if you notice, it's up a little bit high, so I need something else below that. So I'm going to put a mini dimensional because I don't need two large dimensionals on top. So I'm going to take the backing off of my large dimensional, and then I'm going to add the mini on top of that. And then this should give it just enough lift to attach it to our card, and then I'll put some seal right there. All right, so then we're going to place this right about here. And there you go. Now we could add some embellishments to this if we chose to. Now the next thing we want to do is we want to do the inside of our card. So let's make sure, I got to make sure I got my right size here. Hang on a minute. I set it off to the side, but I want to make sure. We're going to decorate the inside. We're just going to stamp it. That's close enough. I don't think that's the right one though. Hang on a minute. What did I do with my white? Hang on. She's a-looking. Well, you know what? I just have some extra ones right up here. So, yeah, I think this one's not the right size. Okay, so we're going to come back with our inks. We're just going to use our leaves. So we're going to, again, pull in our succulent, and we're just going to do a few of the leaves. I'm just going to I'm going to stamp a couple right here, a little bit off. Let's do one right like that. We don't want to put a lot on there because we definitely want to leave room to write our message, right? Okay, so let's clean this, and then we're going to come back with, I think we'll do our, the bigger leaf with the Evening Evergreen. So let's pull that one in and see what we can do with that. So we're just going to add, make sure we get enough ink on it. So we're just going to add one there. Whoops, hang on a minute. So the nice thing about photopolymer is that you can actually line it up and stamp again if you forget to do what I just did. So look at that. That worked out pretty well. I wouldn't recommend doing that all the time, but that is a way that you can adjust. And this one, I think I'm just going to place it right about there. I'm not going to add too much. It's kind of hanging, but we're just going to let it look like it's a hanging chad. All right, because we want to be able to write our message. Okay, now I could have filled those in a little bit more, but I'm not going to worry about that. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put this on the inside of our card so that we can write our message when we're ready to send it. So we'll bring this back in. I'm gonna lay that right there. Now, isn't that pretty? This is Orchid Oasis. Isn't that a pretty color? All right, so we have, oops, hang on. We got to move it down a little bit. I got it a little too close to the, so the nice thing about the Tombow, or the liquid, the multi-purpose glue, is that you can pull it up and move it real quick if you have to. All right, so there's our first card. What do you think about that? Pretty easy. All right, so the base is Oasis, Orchid Oasis, and then we've got a piece of Starry Sky at 4, 5 1/4, and then 3 3/4 by 5 piece of basic white, and then we've stamped 4 of the flowers on watercolor paper, used our painter pencil, water painter, kind of colored it in with the ink, and then stamped our sentiment on the 2, how much, what is it, 3 3/4 by 2, and then we stamped the inside a little bit to make it pretty. All right, so there's our first card. Isn't that gorgeous? I just love these cards. These new stamps are just really, really nice. All right, so let's move this out of the way. All right, let me see. I don't need that. Let me hold on a minute. We got all new colors coming in, so let's get those in. Now we're going to work with the same stamp again. Let's see. So this is the next one. Oh, I need to bring my scoreboard over here. Give me 1 second. Let me go grab that because we're going to do some scoring to make our card a little different. Sorry, guys. I wasn't thinking. And this thing is so big, so bear with me. All right, so what we're going to do, let me put my microphone back on. All right, this is the card that we're going to be making, okay? We're going to score these lines. It just gives it some texture, and I really like that. And I copied this card. Oh my gosh, I have it in my Pinterest of who I copied it from. I'll put it in the link of the video. So we're going to use a thick piece of basic white, and we're going to score it at 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and score it now. And then we're using a piece of Bermuda Bay, 4 by 5 1/4. And then another piece of Whisper White, which is 3/4 by 5. And I'll show you what we're going to do with that. Mango Melody, Bermuda Bay, and then Pear Pizzazz. And then we're going to add a few little rhinestones. Okay, so let's put that off to the side. Let's bring it now. I'm bringing in the scoring board. If you don't have this, it does take up some space, but it's a really nice thing to have, especially if you're going to be doing a lot of scoring. So first of all, we're going to take our basic white and we're going to score this. It's at 8 1/2, right? So we're going to score it at 4 1/4. Okay, so that's going to be our card base. So we're going to fold that in half, and then we'll burnish it with our bone folder in just a moment, and we'll do that in just a second. Now, the other piece of basic white, let me make sure I got the right piece here. 5 by that's not it. Hang on a minute. Here it is. I picked up the wrong one again. All right, this is going to be at 5 inches by 3 3/4. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start in the middle of this 3 3/4, which really should be, let's see, it's going to be 1 5/8 if I'm not mistaken. And we are going to, 1 5/8. Whoopsie, look at that, putting stuff on here. All right, so we're going to do, so our center, we've got 3 3/4, right? So half of 3 is 1 1/2, and then we have 3/4, which is going to be 3/8. So we're going to have 1 7/8. So this here, we're going to draw and push a score line, and we're going to try to make it deep because we want this to stand out. Now we're going to do 4 on each side, all right? So we're going to just come back to each line. We're just going to do each line and draw, or not draw, but score. Okay, so there's 1, we're going to go 2, 3, and then 4. And then we're going to come back over here to the next line, and we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Now see how that gives it some really nice texture? And that's just by scoring, using your scoring tool. Okay, so let's move this out of the way. I'll add that to the pile over there. All right, I'm going to bring in my card base. I'm going to get this. The only thing I mean, I love the white, but you know, when you've got ink all over your fingers, it really, it's awful because you tend to get it covered all over. Okay, so that piece is going to go on here. That's going to be popped up on dimensionals after we add our Bermuda Bay, okay? See, I've already got a little smudge on it, but we'll figure that one out. We're going to cut that. All right, now on this one, we're going to stamp 2 of the flowers. So let me grab those back and make sure I've got them cleaned. Give me one moment. Let's scrub it really good with my Stampin' Scrub. All right, so we're going to come in. We're going to use the same stamp sets again. So we're going to come in with our, oh, here's my ink right here. All right, so we're going to come in with our Bermuda Bay and our mango, and we're going to stamp. I'm going to push this over here for just a moment. So we're going to stamp a flower in Bermuda Bay, and then we're going to stamp one in the mango. So hopefully we got enough ink on that. And these, again, we're going to have to fussy cut because we do not have a die to cut those out. But that's all right. We're going to get the hang of this fussy cutting stuff, right? All right, so we're going to push this, put this away. All right, and then we are going to, hang on one second, my cord has come loose and it's driving me crazy. All right, and then we're going to come in with mango, and we're going to stamp another one in mango. I'm going to get that really inked up. I just inked my stamp, my ink pad, because it was needed, definitely needed some ink. All right, there's that. Now we can pull the colors in on this one. I think I'm going to leave this one. I did it on this here very lightly, but I think I'm just going to leave them like that. I'm going to leave them open. All right, and then we're going to come back with our Pear Pizzazz, and we're going to stamp the, hang on one second. Let me get the, put these leaves back, and I'm going to switch out because I'm going to do the lines right there. So let me put these back in here. Now, have you noticed that this particular stamp set has the pictures right here on the back side of the case? So I don't use the window sheets that they provide. I just stick my stuff right on here. That way I know if something's missing. Now we're going to use one of these as well. These are those little dot things. We're going to use that. I'm going to put that there, and then I'm going to pull up my leaf, and we are going to use that. And I'm going to switch and use that to start with, okay? So we're going to stamp a couple of these, and again, these all have to be fussy cut, so just keep that in mind. All right, so we're just going to stamp, I'm going to stamp 3, 2, 3. I think that should be good. All right, so we're going to get that done. Okay, and we are moving right along. So we have to fussy cut these, which I did not do in advance. So now you all get to watch me do that part. Now this is, I just stamped these on basic white. So this is going to be a little bit easier to cut because it's not as thick as the watercolor paper. So we're just going to work our paper around our snips and kind of go in the little areas where it shows a little bit of like a little divot, if you will. Try to make that so we can follow the flower itself to give it a little bit more of its effect. All right, and that. So I hope you all are doing well. We are just hoping that we can get moved. we get back. We're gonna still have 6 weeks before we get moved in to our house, and I'll tell you what, it's like driving me crazy. I'm losing my mind. I think I can't find stuff. You know, it's because I'm going from the motorhome coming over here to the studio, and I'm packing up stuff, and then I'm forgetting things. I can't find things. My husband said, I think you're going to have to go into getting some. We went to a seminar, and they were talking about people that have, memory starting to. We all start to have memory issues, right? When you start getting your 30s and 40s, you start forgetting things, right? And some of us a little bit more so than others. And so I am becoming very forgetful. And I do crossword puzzles. I do crossword puzzles. I do not games, like Scrabble. I do that. So I try to do things that keep my brain occupied, so it's just not getting mushy. But I'm telling you, the older you get, you really do start to become more forgetful. And I think stress will have a lot for me with this environment that we're in such, I don't want to say we're in chaos, but it's just crazy. We're just not used to that. And so I think that plays a lot into it, actually. That's just my opinion. I'm not I'm a psychologist or not, but I think it does. And I think I'm more forgetful because I'm running between two places, and that's enough in itself to drive you crazy because you don't remember. I try to pack stuff when I come over here to the studio, and then I try to unpack it. If I don't need it, I don't bring anything back to the motorhome. But it gets crazy, and then you got to pack up your computer because you need to have that with you, and it's just a lot. So we've had a few moments of some discussions, we'll call it that, but it's just getting a little frustrating, but it'll be fine. Once we get moved in and get settled, I can get back into doing our therapy work with the dog. And I'm looking forward to that because that in itself is so gratifying. We went to lunch today, and everybody, I shouldn't say everybody, most people like dogs, and older people, it's really good for them. It just helps to calm things down, helps them to remember things. And so we were sitting at lunch at one of the restaurants outside, and we had 3 couples that came by, and they saw Riley laying under the table, and they had to stop and talk to her. And of course, one lady was in a walker, so I pick her up so they don't have to bend down because it's not safe for them because they fall, right? So that's the one thing that I miss with her being a certified therapy dog is we would visit the old folks, and I miss that. I miss that joy of seeing what the dogs do to help these people, and this is just a great place to be able to do that. So hopefully I can get back and get started doing that again. So I'm looking forward to that. All right, so I've got my flowers and my leaves cut out. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add, I think I'm going to lay this one, let's put this one down. I think I'm going to do the Bermuda Bay. I'm going to do it opposite now. So I'm going to glue this one down with my seal. So we'll go ahead and add this one flat, and then we'll pop up the mango. So let's just, let's place this one. I guess I'm going to cover that up anyways. Let's do that now so we can get that covered up. And then this one we're going to add, and these are see how quick and easy these things are? So this one we're going to pop up on dimensionals. Hopefully I'm in the camera. All right, so we'll just attach one like that. I don't think we need 4. And then, all right, so let's attach this one. And then we're going to add our leaves, and then we're going to stamp our little, I don't know what those are, little doodads. We're going to call them little doodads. And I think we'll just kind of add this one. What do you think? No, I don't want to do that. Let's just kind of do it like this. Let's offset it just a little bit. All right, so we've got that. Now these guys, I think I'm just going to place these down. If I get some adhesive on them. I'm just going to tuck them under. So we'll put one right about there. See how easy this is? I mean, it's really is easy, and it's, to me, I find this to be very relaxing. The only thing I don't like about right now is the internet in this place. Oh my God, we're on Shell Point's wireless for the area. Ugh. It's enough to drive you crazy. And we're trying to see if we can find a neighbor that has internet, that if we can pay them like a month to give us their number so that we can tie into it, because I just can't get anything done. It's just, it's frustrating because you can't get hardly any internet. And so anyways, that's, listen to my sob story. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, I think I'm going to do the same thing because I really like this. Life is better with a friend like you. And it's long, so it's going to take up space at the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp that. And then we are going to add the little doodaddy things. Let me see, because I put this, in case you're wondering why I do this, because it forces me to line it up, or if I lay it horizontal, then I tend to get things a little bit more crooked. Not that I don't get things crooked, but this helps. And we're going to do this in Bermuda Bay. I'm just going to try to pull it together. And since that's my favorite color, in my green family, that's what we're going to do. All right, so we're going to go ahead and stamp our sentiment down here. All right, not too bad. All right, so let's close this up. Now we're going to bring back our mango. Let me shift my stamps off my thing here. All right, let's get that over here, get this out of the way. All right, we're going to come in with mango, and we're going to create these little dot things. I think they're little like buds. Let me make sure I got the right one. Yep. Okay, so we're going to take these, and I'm just going to stamp around these little things just to give some decoration. And we're going to come back, and there's 3 of them, right? So whenever there's 3, there's going to be an area. I'm going to add a rhinestone, and we'll put this one a little closer like that. Okay, so how's that? Let's see, maybe we should do, what should we do? Should we do, I don't know, that looks kind of odd, so let's put one right here on this. All right, now this one really stands out. Oh, I like that. Okay, so now we're going to come back, and we're going to take our rhinestones, and where are the rhinestones? They're right here in front of me. All right, so we're going to take our paper snips. Actually, I think what I'm going to do first, let's go ahead and attach everything, and I'll add those last. So let's go ahead and put our adhesive on the back. All right, so we're going to do that. Make sure we get enough on there to hold it down in place. We're going to put that on top of our Bermuda Bay and eyeball it so we get it and right there. I think that looks good. Oops, a little crooked. See, sometimes things can be deceiving, right? All right, and I don't see, I've got a little thing, so I'm gonna have to cover that up. All right, that's why you gotta be careful with ink on your hands. Use white as your base. It cannot be your friend sometimes. All right, so there's that. We're gonna put that on our base. Always make sure you've got it where it opens the proper way. I've done that before where I've put it on, it's upside down. All right, so there's that. All right, so we're good to go there. Got a little glue. All right, now we're going to take our rhinestones, and these are the smallest ones, and I'm just going to place them right kind of like in the center of the 3. And some of them I might place it off out to give it like a little, and then we'll put it right towards that. So everywhere that I put this little stamp, we're going to add some rhinestones. Okay. And since, let's see what this is going to look like. We're going to put one off the side to cover up that little piece right there. How's that? All right, so there is our second card using the Peaceful Moments for Our Sentiments and the Uniquely Artistic stamp set. Aren't these gorgeous? So let me bring in the other 2 cards as soon as I can locate them. And here's what we made. Aren't these cute? Isn't that so easy to do? Look at that. So there you go. We are all set. All right. So thank you so much, you guys, for coming out and watching me this Tuesday evening. I greatly appreciate it. Next week, we're going to be working with another new stamp set, and we're going to also do a slimline card, and it's going to be fun. All right, so thank you again. I really appreciate it. Please keep in mind about the Join Special, my host code here, in the event that you want to make an order, place an order with me through my online store. Just go to bit.ly/3KU, and then capital H, capital T, capital A, capital G, and that will be listed in below the video. All right, thanks everyone. Have a great weekend, and I will see you next week. Bye now.